Mets trade videos. This is part 2 of a 2-part series here. And this is on possible trade candidates for the trade deadline that are batters. These are hitters. And after seeing the game, they definitely could use some of that, some more hitting. So this is going to be 5 through 1. I have an honorable mention. The reason I made him an honorable mention is for the simple fact that his team's playing well at the moment, and with the way the new wild card rules are, I'm not sure he could potentially stay there. He is in the last year of his contract, and they are known for selling everything off. So I'll just get to it. That's Jesus Aguilar, the power hitting right-handed bat. He plays first base. He can DH, and he's in the, like I said before, he's in the last year of his contract with the Marlins, and is why he may be available at the age of 32. He would be a solid rental for any contender, especially the New York Mets. With the Mets, he could play DH and first base to give Pete a spell, on Pete's days off, or if they just want to give Pete a break from playing defense or whatever. But he could definitely fill in there, or just play DH. So either way would be solid for him. But Miami's been playing great, as I said. So this is, like I said, he's my honorable mention. I'll give you a little bit of I'll give you his stat line, just basically break it down. Aguilar's batting .246 with 69 hits, 10 home runs, 35 RBIs. He's 1 for 1 in stolen bases, which is pretty good for a 275-pound guy. I mean, once in a while I see something like that, and I like to throw it into video, just kind of give you guys a little humor there. He's walked 19 times to 73 strikeouts. That's what you kind of get with a power hitter. They tend to strike out a lot, but hey, when they do make contact, a lot of times it's going over the wall. And, so that's kind of where Aguilar stands. He has, in 280 at-bats, he has a .400 slugging percentage with a 94 OPS plus. His WAR is horrible. It's 0.2, so, take that with a grain of salt. That's similar to another first baseman that we had in the last video. So, and that was a Pirates first baseman, Daniel Vogelbach. So, maybe these guys are similar. You could definitely get Vogelbach cheaper. But onto the list today. Our number 5 guy, Ian Happ, switch hitter that can play all 3 outfield spots plus the middle of the infield, and that's big. I mean, yeah, the Mets are pretty set at middle infield, with Guillorme, obviously Lindor. They also have Jeff McNeil, an all-star. So they're pretty good there, but he could play in the outfield, and he could play in the middle of the infield if need be. He could be a defensive, he could be a replacement, just a pinch hitter, come in, and he has different places he could get in the game at. So just keep that in mind. Ian would be a rental from the Cubs. The Mets dealt with the Cubs last year in the Javi Baez trade, so the best part of the Javi Baez trade was not even Javi Baez. So are the Mets willing to give up a bunch of stuff to get Ian Happ? Maybe if you throw a pitcher in there, which I did last time, so, and hey, the pitcher worked out great, but or has so far. But the Cubs for sure are going to be sellers at the deadline. Ian Happ has solid numbers in 284 at bats. He's hitting .282 with 80 hits. 21 doubles, 3 triples, 2 home runs, 38 RBIs, 6 stolen bases on 9 attempts. He has 41 walks to 68 strikeouts, which that's not bad. That's not bad at all. It really isn't. His WAR is 2.7. That's a really good WAR. That's really good. That you'd take that. If you could get that, you would be happy to have it. Now, granted, he plays on a bad team, so makes him a little more of a vital cog to the machine, but that's still a really good WAR. 454 slugging and a 132 OPS plus. 100 OPS plus is like league average. Okay, that's league average. So he's 32% better than the average player in the majors. That's really good. But he won't come cheap. He's going to be expensive. And the Mets may not be willing to give that up. Give up all that they would have to give up to get an Ian Happ. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about Ian Happ. He's, like I said, he won't come cheap. He's just not going to. And like I said, the Mets, I got my notes here, but the Mets aren't going to go cheap. The number 4 guy is a former Met pinch hitting hero, okay? Brandon Drury. He's flexible. He's a flexible infielder that can play DH. Drury can play all over the infield. He really can. He's just a flexible guy, and is having the best season of his career. At the age 29, with 275 at bats, 74 home run, or sorry, I'm sorry, 74 hits, 74 home runs. He would be getting traded. 74 hits, 17 home runs. See, that's what happens when I try to read fast. I messed it up for you guys. But 74 hits, 17 home runs, 15 doubles, 2 triples, 47 RBIs, 2 stolen bases on 4 tries. That's solid numbers. His WAR's a 1.4. That's solid. You know, I'd like to see the WARs somewhere at the 1 or better. So, you know, this video is going to have more of them guys like that. So just think about it like that. You know, the 29-year-old Reynolds, he's a real possibility for the Mets. And he's a real possibility, and the Mets could really potentially go get him. There's some other guys that have been linked a little closer, but, you know, like, and we mentioned some of them. One of them was Nelson Cruz. He was linked much, you know, more recently. You know, another guy was linked pretty recently, pretty heavily. He'll be in this video later on, so stay tuned to find out who that is if you don't know. And if you do know, good, you're paying attention. You know, so the number 3 guy on this list is 27-year-old Venezuelan switch-hitting outfielder and slugger from the Baltimore Orioles, who is set to become a free agent at season's end. And for sure is a rental that will get dealt at the deadline. Now I say that, and as I was recording this video, this is another guy that might not go because the Orioles may not be sellers. We need to wait until after the All-Star break and get a little closer and see what they're going to do. They might sell off and they may not, just depending on. But right now, over the last week or two, they've been one of the hottest teams in baseball. So keep that in mind. Some of these Orioles that we thought were for sure to be dealt could possibly not. But it's likely because the Orioles don't like to spend money, and unless they think they're going to win the World Series, they're probably not keeping these guys. They'll probably trade them for prospects so they don't lose them for nothing, or, you know, lose them for 1 draft pick. But this guy, you can't lose him for a draft pick because he's not arbitration eligible and all that. And so he very well could go and probably will get dealt. But it's Anthony Santander with just under a 1. His WAR is just under a 1, so it's a 0.9. He's batting .239 with 68 hits, 15 home runs, 8 doubles, 41 RBIs. He's walked 31 times and struck out 64 times. And he has 285 at bats. You know, Anthony's slugging is a 425 with his OPS plus being a 112. That's pretty really good. He'd be a great rental in a possible long-term contract for the New York Mets or any contender that trades for him, just for the simple fact of his age. He's only 27 years old this year, so he's entering the prime of his career, and he could really be a solution for the Mets. You know, give you that other bat. You know, you got Lindor. You know, the lineup right now generally looks like Nimmo, they really need to extend Nimmo. Nimmo's a big part of that deal. They need to really bring Nimmo back. Marte and right, and batting second. Nimmo's in center. Marte and right. Lindor at short. Bats third. Pete Alonso. And then if you had Anthony Santander, you could play him in left or DH. I'd probably play him in left, because I really hope the Mets go out and get 2 bats. They really could use a couple bats. But Anthony Santander could be that 5th guy. He could be that 5th guy. And that keeps their lefty-righty lineup going that they like to do. Just keep in mind that could potentially be what they do. And who knows? Buck does have some history with the Orioles and some of the Orioles players. He knows who Anthony was. He knows who Anthony is. So we'll see. The number 2 guy on this list, okay, is from the Baltimore Orioles also. He's a DH, outfielder, first baseman, Trey Mancini. He's a right-handed bat with pop. He's 30 years old. The slugger overcame cancer last year. Well, in 2020, he had basically a redshirt season, I call it, but he had a medical. They called it a medical leave season. But seriously, he's having a really good year, and he would be a likable player. He's one of the most likable players in the league, and he would be somebody that would fit in New York. He's a Paisan, fit in just well in that Italian community, and from one Paisan to another, hey, I get it. But I'm just saying, he'd fit in fine there. His numbers are solid. He has a 280 batting average, so he's above the Mendoza line. He's got 80 hits. He's got 8 home runs. I'd like to see them be a little bit higher, but he's playing in Baltimore. Okay, Camden is a hard park to hit in. So I'd like to see the numbers go up a little bit. I'd like to see his home runs go up a little bit. But he's got 8 home runs, 15 doubles, a triple, and 33 RBIs. That's not horrible. He's got 21 walks, so he gets on base in multiple ways. 66 strikeouts. That number can come down a little bit. His WAR is a 1.9. He has a 423 slugging percentage with a 122 OPS plus. Like I said before, that's 22% better than the average guy in the majors. So that's really cool. That's a pretty good number. You want to keep that OPS plus up. And if you've noticed something, all these guys that I've done so far in this video have all had a positive OPS plus. I really think that's important, because that's your that's your like I said, that's how they rate the players and use the WAR system. They all have had decent WARs, except for my honorable mention, but that's why I didn't make the list either. So what I'm saying is this guy really could work out. Now he is a rental at the deadline, so if maybe let's just say you're the Mets and you call up and you get the Orioles on the phone and you say, hey, what about Trey Mancini? I'd like to get Trey Mancini. What do you want? Okay. Is there any way you could throw Santander in there? What And they said, oh, if you throw this in there, I'll throw that in there. Maybe give up a Vientos, which the Mets really don't want to give up these guys. But you give up like a Vientos, a pitcher further down the line, and a couple other things. You throw J.D. Davis or Dom Smith, or maybe both, and you send them back, and they get 2 prospects, 2 or 3 prospects, J.D. Davis, Dom Smith. Maybe they do it. I mean, I don't know, but and the odds are you're probably not getting 2 bats from the same team, so it's going to be it'd be one or the other most likely. And if I had to choose one or the other, I would probably personally take Anthony Santander, even though I have him further up the list, but it's more realistic that the Mets will end up with Trey Mancini. So I'm just telling you how it is. And That'll move us to our final guy, the number one guy on this list. Number one on this list, okay? And the number one guy on this list from the Washington Nationals, Josh Bell, a power hitting first baseman / DH that can play third base. Bell has great numbers in 2022. He really does. He really does have great numbers in 2022. He's also set to become a free agent at season's end. In 86 games, Bell is hitting .308 with 21 extra base hits, 12 home runs, 47 RBIs, 39 walks. He's only struck out 48 times. He's got a .497 slugging percentage. He's got a .156 OPS plus. That's 56% better. That's really good. Okay, his WAR is off the charts, one of the best in majors. It's a 3.2. So once again, he's doing really well. He's just having a great season, and he's a switch hitter, which will really come in handy. Another switch hit, I'm just saying, you get another switch hitter in there. You got Lindor, he's a switch hitter. They need somebody that can back good against, from the left side of the plate along with the right side. And if you're gonna have, and we have trouble with lefties, and Bell has great numbers against lefties also. The Mets have been struggling against lefties for over a calendar year. It's just ridiculous why can't they hit a left-handed pitcher? I don't know, but if I was in charge, I would go out there and I would have them pitched to by a left-handed pitcher every day that we weren't playing a game. Every batting practice, every opportunity there was, they'd face as many lefties as possible, and it would be ridiculous. Okay, they'd get tired of facing lefties. They would just obliterate lefties. Okay, you wouldn't want to bring a left-handed pitcher into the game because he would just get obliterated, because my guys would be so sick of facing left-handed pitchers that they would just destroy. Okay, but for some reason, they don't think like me. It's like, if you can't do it right, do it 1,000 times. If you can't do it right after that, do it 1,000 more times. Keep doing it till you get it right. But Bell has it right. Bell can hit against lefties. He's on pace for 26 home runs, which wouldn't be his career best. His career best 37 home runs, 94 RBIs. But he's just really, really solid all-around player, and he would fit really well in that 5-hole. Now, he's going to be expensive, even though he's going to be a rental. And on top of that, he plays for the Nationals. The Nationals really don't like, Rizzo don't really like to deal within the division. He really don't want to deal with the Mets. That's why they gave up Scherzer for what they gave up Scherzer for last year, and they ended up sending Trey Turner. Rizzo just don't want to deal with the Mets, and whatever, that's fine. You want to be a baby about it, go be a baby about it. I don't care. Your team sucks now, and they'll suck later because you're an idiot. But but Josh Bell really is going to probably cost pretty good pennies. Probably him or Wilson Contreras, probably the two top guys out there. And the reason I didn't put Contreras in the video, yes, I know the Mets need some help at catching, and I know the Mets need to get some type of production out of the catcher on the offensive side of the plate. But you got Alvarez coming up. The Mets don't want to give away a bunch of stuff. I'm not saying the Mets can't score a catcher at the deadline. Maybe I don't know. There's other guys out there. There's going to be guys available, but I don't think they have to go get the most, the best catcher. I think you go get if you solid up this DH and you put another bat out there, get two more bats in this lineup, regardless of where they play, the lineup will be fine, and the Mets will be okay. So that's what I got for you today. Josh Bell's number one on the list. Trey Mancini was our number 2 guy. Anthony Santander was our number 3 guy. Brandon Drury was number 4. And Ian Happ was number 5. Our honorable mention for today was Jesus Aguilar. So that's the list, guys. Please, for more videos like this, please like, subscribe, and share. I'd really greatly appreciate it. And when you hit that like button and you subscribe to the channel, that helps out. It'll send you all the notifications. And also, one more thing, guys. Please like the videos and share them all over the internet, because we're trying to build something here, and I want you to be a part of it. This isn't just my channel, as I've always said. This is our channel. This is the people who are subscribed, the people who support the channel. It's their channel just as much as it is mine. And this has been brought to you by the American Mafia Media Company, and we greatly appreciate all the support, and thank you. And we also have a new channel. It's called the Wrestling News Channel. Go check it out. It's got all your wrestling news. You guys are really, if you guys are into wrestling, Motormouth does a great job. He covers everything. I mean, he covers everything. I seen a video, the latest video. He's talking about wrestling in Alaska. Okay, he's talked about Ric Flair's final match. He's talked about, AEW, WWE, Impact. Motormouth just does a great job for the wrestling channel, and so go get the Wrestling News Channel. Go check it out, guys. Thank you for all your support, and please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, be safe.